Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. I got the first interview on EOS for you right now. Let them know your name. Let them know where you from, bro.
What it do, y'all boys? My name is Bemba. I'm from Miami. Uh, I'm 29. I'm out here.
Hey, let
Free.
them know how you know me, though.
I know my brother Jacob from Appalachia. I was locked up with him. We were roommates for about 6, almost 7 months together. And my brother right there, nigga wrote out for me when I needed him, and vice versa. I did the same thing. I was somebody that I really I vibed with in there, that's my brother. I knew that he had my back, and it's just a wonderful feeling when you're in a situation, you're in a place like that, and you usually feel like you're alone in places like that. And to have somebody solid like Jacob, like the way nigga just did everything correct, nigga was always and yeah, we may have had a little differences towards the end, but it's like he says, we spent 6 months together in the cell, and we never even fought. We never, we never even
You were
got.
slap boxing in that,
Yeah, you already know we stay slap boxing.
though.
Got your hands out though, huh? Beat
Hell
the shit
yeah.
out of your ass. Bro, I was so proud of you that day, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, dog. You got off on Rambo, nigga, in front of everybody too, bro. The whole day,
Everybody.
nigga. Everybody sounded like, ooh, everybody seen it. You already know.
Hey, but so let them know how much time you did in total.
So I did 5 years. I did 5 years mandatory. I've been doing good. I've been staying out of trouble. I've been grinding. I got my daughter now. I got my wife.
Congratulations.
You feel me? I've been chilling.
Definitely, definitely. Now, how many different compounds did you hit in the state of Florida?
Well, I literally hit exactly 5 compounds. My first one was Charlotte CI. My second one was Okeechobee. The third one was Santa Rosa. I went to CM. I got into some shit in Okeechobee. I fucked up a sergeant there or whatever, and they sent me to CM. I did almost about a year and a half in confinement. From there, I ended up going to a post CM camp, which is Golf CI. Me and some of my bros, we got into it there with some peoples, and we got placed under investigation, and we ended up getting shipped to ACI. That's where I ran into you. So,
And are you able to speak on what the investigation was for? Was it just a fight or a riot or something like that?
well, what had happened was I had a brother in the cell, and he was a J. He came from YO camp like you did. You know how that YO shit is. That shit's wild.
Yeah.
And you know how I was too. So people were already like, damn, that was actually my roommate. You feel me? My brother was my roommate. You feel me? So we was in there basically like me and you type shit.
Yeah.
And whatever. One day he got into it with some dude or whatnot, and him and the dude were arguing. And his homeboy, the dude's homeboy, was right next to him. And while they were arguing and shit, I seen he closed his fist, like he was about to take off on my bro. So what I do, I took off on him. And me and my bro started beating Buddy. And the nigga that originally had beef with my bro, he just stood by and watched his homeboy that was basically about to jump in for him just get his ass beat. While me and my
Yeah,
dog, my
nothing.
brother, just pounding him, we beating his ass. Fool just you feel like he didn't want no pressure.
Yeah.
So we locked down. It was ready to get locked down, and the trustees, the runarounds, they stay after lockdown to sweep up and shit. So I go and I holler at him, and I'm like, yo, listen, let me get this broom. I finna sweep up. I got pressure. I finna go holler at these people. So when he was like, okay, no pressure, go ahead. He understood. He seen how I was. And while everybody locked down, I went and I swept, and I went into the nigga by his room, and I got up to his window, and I told him, bro, you already know what time it is tomorrow when the doors pop. You gotta tighten up. You feel me? He was like, bro, y'all niggas tripping, dog. Like, bro, y'all niggas, well, I don't know what the fuck y'all niggas on, bro. I ain't on that shit, bro. I ain't got no rap. I was like, all right, say less. Don't worry about it. So whatever. The next day, the doors popped. The dude that we had beat, he was already straight. He was like, nah, bro, y'all niggas got off. Like, he ain't want no pressure. You feel me? But we still had this little intrigue with his homeboy or whatnot. And The next day, early in the morning, they must have put the doors like at what, like 4:30. That's usually when they do breakfast, right? 4:30,
Yeah,
5 o'clock.
early.
Yeah, it was sometime around there. Soon as they popped that door, man, that nigga ran straight to the day room. So, you know, we ain't trying to crash the man either. You feel me? Like, you know
Yeah,
what time it is.
God.
He did, yeah, he did it on purpose. You know, he went to the day room to be in front of the offices and shit. So we're like, don't worry, just chill, we got you. So, boom, you know how we come back from chow. When you come back from chow, you know how there's a count, and then after the count, they call morning call outs, and then after that, rec and all that bullshit. So as soon as we came back in from chow, we went in and he just locked himself in the room. As soon as they opened the doors, uh, we went out, and you know how that prison shit is, bro. Like you know how everybody talks, So I guess word got around that we had gotten into it. The brothers heard, and when they did the first call out, bro, I think it was like about like 14, 15 of my brothers must have snuck in the dorm because thinking it was precious, some shit. And when Buddy seen all them sliding in the dorm, he took a shit. He literally went and started banging, they're trying to kill me. Yeah. So he checked in. And
let me
man,
let me just say, for everybody that doesn't know, like I said in the last video, it's very, very easy for people to slide into different dorms that they're not actually housed in. And when things pop off and your people on the compound hear about these things, your people will come to that dorm to make sure everything is okay. Like what was saying, 15 people that weren't even in that dorm came through to that dorm. And when someone checks in, that's basically when they go protective custody. Just for everyone that doesn't know, you know what I mean?
so yeah, so what ended up happening is he went, he checked in. Like I said, there must have been like about like 14, 15 of my bros in there that did not belong there. So, they put two and two together. They got me, literally everybody that was there.
Yeah, we
We
knew what
all,
time it was.
we all went in the box on the investigation. All of us got shipped from that compound. All of us. And
Now, which compound out of all five do you think was the craziest one that you touched down on?
to be honest, it had to be between Golf and Appalachia, where me and you
Off of
were.
Appalachia?
Yeah.
Appalachia was pretty wild, even when we were there.
Appalachia was wild. You feel me? There's a lot of shit going down, like, and even like we would hear about shit, like like me and you might have not been involved in anything, but there was other people constantly getting fucking airlifted from the air. Remember
Yup,
that crack to the other crack about the $5 coffee bag right
yup.
towards of us EOSing?
Got him in his neck.
Got him in his neck in Center Gate. You remember that shit?
Yeah, bro.
When we passed by to go to chow, we seen the puddle of blood. You remember that shit,
They
bro?
had the whole crime scene there and
The
everything,
whole
and then
crime
the
scene
pressure
tape.
washing the blood.
Yeah, the crime scene taping off, bro. I'll never forget that shit.
Wild.
I done seen a bunch of people get fucking stabbed and killed in prison just like that by the neck.
Now, have you ever been put into a position where, you feel that you yourself, besides obviously what we've done, you know what I mean? Because it's not like what we did, we were trying to do anything too crazy. But have you ever found yourself in a position where it's like, do or die?
Um, I mean, it depends on how you put it. Like you said, like do or die. Like I felt like if my life was in danger, no, I don't feel like, like I ever got caught slipping, like, you feel me? Like, I feel like during my bid, I kind of had it a smooth bid in the sense, like, I always feel like I had the upper hand in every situation.
Yeah.
Like, I always came out on top. So I can't really say I took an L. I was never in a fucked up predicament where I felt like I was going to be, like, like, I guess I could be, like, I walked pretty smooth. I played my cards correctly, while I was in there. I guess I really I don't feel like I was ever in a predicament where I was the one that really in danger like that. We got into a bunch of shit, but like I usually got off every single time.
We usually won.
We, nigga, we did almost 7 months together.
We were going hard.
We was going hard, and it's like I was telling people, like people talking about like we was living in it like we had a life sentence. Like you feel me? Like we were getting ready to EOS, and look at this shit that we were doing. Like how you were talking about that one big ass dude that we slid to Old Dorm to go get that bread back. You feel
Yeah,
me?
go ahead and tell everybody about that, you know, from your perspective and how because I
Yeah.
didn't know all the
So,
details.
yeah, so he left out a lot of details actually. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Like, real talk. I really do thank my brother Jacob for having my back like that because, you know, like I'm not gonna sit here now and be like, oh yeah, I'm no fuck, I could have gotten it by myself and taken care of all of that. No, I'm glad that he had eyes on my back because at one point I have my back towards a lot of people. You feel me? I don't know if I could have gotten hit up. Like a lot of people try to take advantage and be like, oh, he's not looking, let me go ahead and they try to act heroes and shit. And the thing about it is, Buddy had he had a lot of drugs going on. Well, what happened was um I had the Cuban poppy, the one that we went to go do that about. He fought with me and my peoples, and like he seen how I was rocking, he seen how I was moving, how niggas respected me in the compound, and he fucked with me heavy. And he told me he was like, "Yo, I got $400, that I want to invest into some K2, some tobacco, like some weed, whatever. You feel me? Like I'm trying to get like a nice little deal." And he knew I had face in the compound. So whatever. I was going to what was that shit called when you're getting ready to leave um
Oh, that
the
class?
program, the program that they put you at the end
I
that
forget what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
something about like
Yeah, transitions.
transition, yeah. I had him for transition, and he was getting ready to leave too, bro. He was getting ready to go home. So we all going home. You
Yeah.
got put in transition right after me. You feel me? We're all going home right behind each other.
Yeah, for
And,
everyone that don't know, this is within like a couple months of him going home, and I was going home right after him. This is when all
yeah,
this happened.
yeah. So I end up going to transition, and I was talking to some Cuban poppy there. The one that we went and sat down in his bunk. Remember the one
Yep.
that when we finally pulled up, we sat down on his bunk, and that's when you asked me who's the nigga, and I pointed to him in the shower.
Yep.
So I ended up speaking to him while we was out there, and I told him, man, what's all like you ain't got no plug, like this is I'm looking for some shit. He was like, oh look, this is the man right here, and he points me to that big ass black dude. You feel me? So I'm like, all right. So he goes and he introduces me to the man, and he's like, oh look, buddy right here, bro, good people, like he got bread, like he want to do business. So he introduced me to him. We started speaking. We came up with a deal. I pushed for it like this. He promised to give me 14 packs of cigarettes, regular packs. In the streets, what, $5-6? In prison, they go for $50 to $75. You feel me? So when you think about it, 14 of them for only $400, you're making one hell of a profit. And those are a pack. Like if you sell the whole pack by itself, because if you actually break it down and sell it cigarettes at a time, there's 20 cigarettes in a box, $10 per cigarette. Do the
Yep.
math. You make killing if you break it down.
But
You get what
eat
I'm saying?
good.
Cigarettes is gold in there. That's the best thing there is. So whatever, we ran down on that nigga there because he ended up owing Poppy some bread or whatever. So, at first I go and I give him the money, and he went, he checked it, he verified it was good. The very next day, he went, he gave me 3 packs of cigarettes. I was like, okay, he going through with his word. And he told me after that he was gonna give me at least 1 pack of cigarette per day. And 2 days passed by. He was like, look, I just gave you 3 at one time. You feel me? Like, give me some time. Like, we're having a little bit technical difficulties. About a week passes, he goes and he gives me 2 more boxes. So at this point, I'm already kind of getting a little frustrated because, he's not keeping his word. He said he gave me a pack a day, at least a pack a day minimum. So I start feeling like he's playing games. At this point, he's only giving me 5 boxes, and about like 4 or 5 days pass, and I see this man every day. We go to transition together. You know, so I'm talking to him already, and I'm already getting frustrated and shit. And you know, I feel like he playing games, and you know, just like the way he started speaking to me, like towards the end, it just made me feel like he was trying me, like indirectly, like on some sideways shit. You feel me? Like he thought I was like a duck or some shit. Like you feel me?
Yeah.
Like I started getting that vibe off of him. So you know, uh, and then the thing is that it's not just me. You feel me? I got this one dude, this poppy, that gave me the bread. You know, that put it in my hands. You feel me? So that I could go ahead and manage that. So right now I'm looking, you know, I'm looking soft type shit. You feel me? I feel like this dude, he feel like he could just like handle me whatever type of way. So you know, I know he out there smoking and shit. I've been asking, you know, people and shit. I've been asking this the Cuban poppy, you know, like what was going on out there, you know. And he's been saying, yeah, they've been smoking. They got some shit. You feel me? So I was like, yeah, all right, bet. So whatever. That's when I go and I decided, yo, I'm gonna go collect, and I went and I stepped to you, and I told you about that shit. I just really didn't go into too many details, but yeah, I went ahead and I let you know that. And bro, I'm honestly glad, dog, that you came with me, Nick, because Pelusa and Monster ended up getting caught.
Yeah.
And so from my point of view, that I seen the video and I noticed a little details that you left out, like okay, for example, this is something that I was very aware of. When that nigga put on his shoes, no, there was a couple people that went up to that nigga because they seen the intrigue and they're like, "Oh, what's up?" You feel me? And at one
The
point,
dude with all the tattoos on his face.
yeah, the dude
His
on the
whole
tattoo,
face.
yes, his other boys, and then like two more dick pullers. You know, they had all the drugs in there. You feel me? Like that's when you got drugs in prison. Forget about it. Is like you have power.
Yeah.
You have say so. You know, like people they want to fuck with you to keep you around, to be on your good side. You know why? Because drugs is gold in there. You know, cigarettes is gold in there. So, you know, he was a man. He actually had an officer that worked in the child hall that she was bringing it in for him. You feel me? So he was good. He was straight. He had it steady coming, steady coming. Everybody fucked with him. So like you said, like you know, and people standing up on their bunks and shit, like little shit like that, and that I felt like, bro, if I would have been by myself, dog, like I know for a fact that they would have probably ended up trying to hit me because why? I got my back towards them. Like if you were my eyes, I like how like you were standing by the entrance of the bathroom with your back towards like, the wall and then facing everybody. You feel me?
Yeah.
And nobody was trying to jump in. Nobody was, because they knew what time it was. They knew it was dry. You feel me? Like they never seen my shit. I never took my shit out, but he knew what time it was. Nigga
They
know
didn't even like I pulled mine out, but they didn't know what you had. They probably thought we had swords and we didn't
yeah,
have.
they probably thought we had swords. I'm pretty sure they were thinking that. I know, cause look, that's a big ass dude. You feel me? And the way he was looking at me, he was looking at me like, bro, we was just like how you said, we're staring down at each other, and I was like, fool, I don't give a fuck what you talking about, nigga. You gotta give me some shit today. You
Yeah.
feel me? Cause you telling me that he ain't had no squares. He had K2. So I told that nigga, bro, you gotta pay me any type of way, bro, cause I ain't even here without no bread. You feel me? It is what it is, nigga. We can do whatever you want to do right now. And that nigga was like, oh, Chico, you tripping, bro. Don't be talking to me like that. I was like, fuck, I don't give a fuck, bro. I came here for a reason, nigga. I'm finna get my bread one way or another. What's up? What you trying to do? And he was like, bro, you know what? I respect that, Chico. You know them niggas knew we were strapped. Like, come on, like two of us sliding in there like that. You feel me? Even though we were sliding with more. Oh, and Pelusa had that
Damn.
shit. You know, Pelusa had that big ass
Yeah,
banger.
he had a banger on him.
He had a banger, yeah. So we Pelusa would have came and Monster would have came, we would have really been good. It would have been four of us. You know, I don't think them niggas would have been acting too crazy.
We
Knowing
would have
this,
took everything in the whole dorm.
yeah, we'd have took everything in the whole dome. Four of us, you feel me? Also, you forgot to mention, right? And bro, I won't forget this shit. You don't remember, dog, the intrigue that there was before we left. Once we got what we got, and before we went out to rec, you know, you don't remember like being stuck there for like about like 15, 20 minutes after we got our shit and we were just staying in this nigga's bunk, just sitting down, looking
Just
around,
sitting there, bro.
just looking around. You sat on the other side of the bunk on the opposite from me, and I sat on the other side looking around and shit.
Because
Like,
we were thinking they were gonna strike.
Yeah, we were thinking, yeah, of course, nigga, this shit still look crazy. You feel me? This shit look crazy as fuck. And yeah, just the whole mission of trying to slide, like sneak out and go into reg, and then fucking end up
The
coming
metal
out.
detector.
Huh?
The metal
Oh, the metal
detector.
detector, yeah. How we
All
did that
that.
shit. How you passed me the commissary back to the side. I grabbed it. You went in. Yeah, yeah. That shit,
You
bro.
played it real smooth.
Yeah, real smooth. That shit came out real smooth with the CO like right there. Like nigga didn't even
Yeah.
notice. But right on, nigga could have gotten stabbed and killed right under his nose. He wouldn't have noticed.
Now, one thing that I left out is the same guy that we ran down on, you know what I mean? He was engaging in homosexual activities, and the guy who was basically his girlfriend was also in that dorm. Neither one of them were known for being soft. Like I said in the last video, the main guy that Bemba ran down on had gotten extra time for stabbing someone up.
Yeah.
After this had happened, probably a week happened. You remember when he stabbed the
He
dude?
stabbed somebody else again, and he still went home.
He stabbed the dude up. So me and Bimbo, we were near the medical station because our dorm, we have to walk past it to go to chow. So when we were walking, we seen the dude in the wheelchair with the blood all on his blues and everything. And more or less what happened is a CO actually lied on the
Yeah,
paperwork and
female
he was
CO.
able to go home.
Yeah, because she fucked with him because he had been down in that compound for so many years. You know what's funny? I was actually telling that story to my dog the other day, and he was like, wow, he really got away. Yeah, shit does happen like that in prison.
And he
Yes.
stabbed him bad too.
And the CO seen the shit, and because of her, he was able to go home because he would have caught more time. And like we were saying, like, yeah, that dude was not soft. Like, this is the problem, right? He's gay. For him, it really doesn't make no difference. For him, he's happy in there. You know, like we go crazy. We're thinking about women all the time. You know, like it hurts us. You
Yeah.
feel the time. You feel me? People like that, they don't give a fuck. They're happy. They're content. He was getting drugs in there. You know, he got himself a boy. Like, you know what? What does that man really need? You feel me? Like he really happy. He don't give a fuck to stab somebody and stay in there longer. You get
And
what I'm
what's
saying?
sad
People
too
like
is
that.
a lot of people in there, you know what I mean? They'll find happiness because like you said, when you have drugs, you basically your name elevates to another level. So you have
So,
people in prison that were nobody on the street. And all it takes is one CO to stop bringing you stuff, and now you
and
are
you the
a
man.
celebrity in
And
prison.
everybody respect you. Yeah, exactly.
They
You
live
feel
some of them live better lives in prison than on the street.
me? That on the streets, facts. I don't seen it. I don't seen it. And so basically, like, you know, he didn't give a fuck. Obviously, me, like, and Jacob, you know, like when we slid, when we did our thing, you know, we're I can tell you one thing about Jacob and you know me myself, we are very prideful people. You know,
Yup.
it's not a good thing at all. Actually, it's not something proud. That's not something I'm proud of. I actually feel like that's my downfall. Like I'm very prideful. I care about what other people think too much. You get what I'm saying? I cannot have people thinking of me any type of way that's flawed, like soft, like you get what I'm saying? And I'll be damned if I let a nigga try me. I don't give a fuck how big he is. I don't give a fuck if I'm going home today in a couple hours. I'm not leaving here with a bad name. You feel me? And if you're gonna force my hand, you're gonna force my hand. And you know, I'm trying to avoid problems. You know,
Yeah.
I don't. You know, when I was in there, the way I was rocking, I wasn't no bully. I didn't look for problems. I didn't put down on people. I didn't extort. You know, that I was living righteous. You know, the problems that I got into was because they forced my hand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Pretty much, like people in there will force your hand. People in there will make them fuck you up. Like they will make you fuck them up. You feel me? Like, is that shit's crazy? Like, it's like I've seen people go in there. There was a story one time, right? I was at well, I'm not gonna name the camp because the dude actually ended up getting away with the murder. There's one dude that's his brother for 100, okay, too, and he goes and he gives it to him and told him that he's gonna give him his bread in like 2 or 3 days. The days came by, nothing. Now, mind you, the guy that gives his brother K2, he's going home in 3 years. The guy that got the K2 from his brother loans, he has a life sentence. So apparently, I guess he had the intentions of bucking him the whole time because he ended up being like, "Oh fuck you!" Like he started getting aggravated once his brother started asking him for the bread or whatever. So he was like, "Oh fuck you! I don't give a fuck. Get out how you live, nigga. Kill me." Literally told him, "Kill me." I guess he must have thought he's soft because he's going home in 3 years.
And those
And
are dangerous words in prison.
yeah, kill me, nigga. You feel me? So it's like people are very prideful. Like you can't just try people like because you think they're going home or some shit. You feel me? What ended up happening was he walks up to my homeboy that I was fucking with heavy. Like that was like my brother. Like that was like you type shit at that compound. You know, like I would eat with him. Like we ride out and he was actually the head of the MS-13s. So you feel me? Like that was my brother. Like he probably got like about like another like 10 years left out of 24 30-year mandatory. Um, so what ended up happening is he ends up telling me that that this dude he paid him to use his knife. Now you know you were describing about that knife that the GD had loaned you,
Yup.
and this was similar to that.
That was a big knife.
I remember that shit. That shit was huge.
You remember its name?
Uh, no, I don't.
He
It was the
named,
GD that lived next to us, right? That lived in 3.
yup,
With
he named that knife Demon.
Demon, that's right. Now that you say it, I do remember. Yeah, a big ass.
Big.
That was a big ass motherfucker. You get hit with that shit for real.
And you let me wear your sweater when I walked up on dude that morning. I was
Yeah,
wearing your sweater.
I remember. You went to school and I couldn't go with you.
Yeah.
I remember. I had to work. I had inside grounds. You had school. Um, so he basically told us what was gonna go down. We knew it already because he told us, look, this one dude, he just asked me for a knife. He told me he has to handle up. And I want all of y'all to be on point, you feel me? Because we just gave this dude a knife.
Yeah.
All of y'all got to be on point. He told me to go tell my peoples. So, us being Hispanics, everybody ended up finding out. Everybody. Uh, so we there posted up a yard now. You got just about all the Hispanics, like all the Hispanic gangs, like the Kings, the MS-13s, the Suit 13s, and all the Spanish people that ain't in gangs, they rock together regardless. You feel
Yup.
me? So everybody that wasn't in gangs was just by the little hut, by the pavilion. And we're here looking at this dude. He's there just chilling, smoking some K2, smoking his brother's K2, fucking with 2 of his homeboys. And he's just there like chilling, like life is all good and shit. And his brother just walks up behind him, just starts stabbing him in the neck. I hit him one time right here. Food dropped like a baby. Like he dropped, like how babies go to sleep with their hands like tucked under them and the little ashes up, like the little butts up.
Yup.
He dropped straight from the ground like that. He looked like a little baby sleeping, bro. Immediately.
Out of the.
And everybody found out immediately because everybody that was working around, or like working out around that area, just like they scattered. Like everybody just started moving away from that, and an eerie silence just fell on the yard. And you got hundreds of people out of the yard at once, and out of nowhere, everything just goes quiet. And the CO ended up looking. The CO got fired behind that shit because protocol was to like make everybody drop. Nobody could leave yard, and they ended up making everybody. They cleared out the yard, and protocol was to make everybody drop and start searching. People can't leave yard, so she ended up getting fired behind that. The dude ended up getting away. He never got caught, and he ended up going home.
It's crazy.
He didn't catch more time or nothing, you know. So like that shit just goes to show you, bro. Like you can't really be trying people like that. Like, you feel me? Like, some people are very prideful. Some people, like, you know, don't get me wrong. I really wasn't trying to kill nobody. You
Yeah.
know, like, I wasn't, you know, like, but I wasn't gonna let a nigga fuck with me either. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And sometimes you gotta take it that far because the person that tries you
it's
is
living
gonna
like,
take it that far
yeah,
themselves.
exactly. That's the problem. Niggas force your hand because the problem is there's certain individuals that if you get into an argument with, you gotta know what time it is. Like, you gotta know if this nigga's waiting to throw hands or if you know, he's just straight stabbing shit. Like, you know people's reputations. You get
Yup.
to know people in the compound. You know who's living like that and who's not. So if you argue with a nigga that you know he's stabbing shit, he got a fucking reputation for stabbing shit, bro, I'm not trying to fight you and I ain't gonna rap with you. I'm gonna catch you before you catch me.
Yup.
You feel me? Like, that's how it goes. Like,
Crazy.
that shit's crazy. And there was so many times where people forced my hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous. The lifestyle in there, it sucks, dog, because you just never know when something's gonna happen. Like, one day you could be chilling, a whole day you could be good, out of nowhere, boom, something pops off. It might not even be your problem. If you rocking with somebody heavy, you feel me, and you got their back, you could be chilling. You could be the best nigga in the world. Nobody gonna fuck with you, and you still gonna end up getting into it. Why? Because your peoples get into it. And if those are your peoples right there, then what are you gonna do? You're gonna have their back in a world that's, you know, that's fucking havoc. It's fucking mayhem. It's a
Nah,
crazy world in there. It's a different world. How many occasions were we in a room full of fucking people? I got life, nigga. You know, a lot of people in it. We
I
were
don't
in Appalachia, our dorm. We were like the only niggas going home in a fucking, it's a
high custody.
HO4, yeah, HO4 cell. You feel me? Everybody in there got life. I mean, everybody, you feel me? And that's
We
how,
shouldn't even have been in there.
yeah, we shouldn't. We weren't supposed to. I was in there because of all the crazy shit that I had gotten into, and obviously you too. You feel me? Our
That was
custody
close
levels.
custody.
Yeah, we're close custody because of all the shit that we had been through during our bid. You know, we met up in Appalachia at the end of our bid when we were EOSing already. But during our bid, we were always constantly getting into shit. Like I said, like, I ended up going into CM for fucking up a sergeant. Like, it was just all type of shit. I was constantly in fucking in confinement, which I'm not proud to say.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, obviously I had bad luck. Shit just like kept on getting caught for shit, bro.